Are your circumstances shaping your life? I know that sounds like a dumb question, and it's kind of a setup because what I want to talk about today is something I'm really excited about because of what I've been experiencing in my own life, which is that actually my inner life, what I'm thinking and feeling, is shaping my outer life in a really profound way that I'm really becoming conscious and aware of. So I want to talk to you a little bit about that and how you can do the same. I'm Brenda, Florida, life coach and lifestyle advisor, and I think this is just the coolest thing that's been happening to me over the last several years that I've been really conscious of it. So we all know how our external circumstances will shape our lives and how we think and feel. And if we're in a negative time in our lives or a difficult time in our lives, you have all these thoughts and feelings about how this is wrong, or I made a mistake there, I screwed up, I'm not good enough for this, maybe I'm not worthy of that. I, do too much of this, fill in the blank, I don't do enough of that, I'm not disciplined, whatever, all those things. And so we have these things in our outside life that we say make us think that way or trigger us into thinking that way or feeling that way, or different relationships that do that, or maybe our jobs or our finances. And they're triggering those maybe feelings of scarcity if we're talking about our job or our finances. And you might think, as I have, as most of us do, that, well, I'm feeling that sense of scarcity or I'm not feeling abundant because my bank account looks terrible or because my job sucks or I got fired and I'm not making any money or, whatever. So we think, well, the outer world is making me feel this way. Well, I don't want to dismiss that. We're all, of course, impacted emotionally by the things happening in our outer world. So I'm not suggesting you become numb to that, not at all. But what I am suggesting is what I have been learning over the last several years is the profound connection between my internal life and how that is shaping my external life. I mean, it's to the point to me that it feels like my internal life is more important than what's going on in my external life, my circumstances. Even if I'm in a period of time where my circumstances suck, right? Like that, life isn't always just a bed of roses and rainbows and unicorns, even when you're a life coach. And but what I'm seeing and experiencing is that when I purposefully, consciously decide to shape my thoughts and feelings regardless. So I decide to feel abundant regardless of my bank account. Then in time, sometimes it's a short time, sometimes it's a longer time, but what I'm realizing over the last few years as I connect the dot to these things is that when I maintain those thinking and feeling states, like that feeling state of abundance, my bank account catches up and I have abundance in my bank account as well. And I start noticing unexpected, positive things financially that happen to me, or various ways that abundance is brought into my life. It may even be just the abundance of the beauty of nature, because nature is always providing a great example of abundance for us. So I'm really working with this connection to shaping my inner life, or creating the inner life that I want, and then just kind of relaxing into knowing that my outer life is going to catch up to that sooner or later. So one of the things that has really shaped this for me is the work of Dr. JoeDispenza. So he actually has a new book that came out this week. I'll put a link in this post or down in the comments with that. It's called, I think, Becoming Supernatural, how common people are doing uncommon things, or that's close to the title. I love his work. I just found out about it, was introduced to it this year, and I've been following and doing a lot of his guided meditations. And I love guided meditation as a way to sort of shape, like to very purposefully decide how you want to feel and the things that you want to think and the life that you want to imagine for yourself or create for yourself, even if it's not happening right here today in your, out of meditation world. And what I'm really experiencing is how quickly then my outer world catches up to that world I'm imagining. So I want to just challenge you to think of a time where this has happened for you. It's happened for all of us in sometimes small ways, sometimes in big ways. For me, I missed a lot of them along the way because maybe they were smaller or I just hadn't learned to connect the dots. But it's that thing where it can be as silly as the example of, like, I'm feeling like I'm going to win the parking game today when I head off to the mall and I know it's a really busy time. Maybe it's a Saturday or the holidays or whatever. And boom, there's my parking space. So I had that internal feeling state of this is going to happen for me. And then boom, it does. Right? So we've all had it happen, at least in small ways. And what I'm playing with now is crafting my life this way, getting in that meditative state and saying, how do I want my life to look? How do I want to feel? What are the things I want to have? What's the work that I want to do? How do I want to get my coaching out in the world? And I just stay in this meditative place, thinking and feeling what that feels like, even though it hasn't happened yet. And then when I come out of my meditation, I really try to carry that with me, right, throughout the day, even though it's not what my external circumstances are. And man, I am telling you, what I'm finding is that very quickly my external circumstances are catching up to that internal story and picture that I'm drawing for myself. So I'd love to hear if you experiment with this kind of thing or how it's happened to you now that you think about it this way. And we're going to keep talking about this a lot because this is totally living lavishly. I'm telling you, living lavishly isn't about perfection. It's not about not having life's ups and downs. With no ups and downs, we wouldn't learn. So living lavishly, though, is about consciously creating the life that we want to live. So thanks for joining me today. I'm Brenda, Florida, life coach and lifestyle advisor, and let's continue to live lavishly together.